if you have any questions as we go along, just speak out and we'll do that. As you may have seen with Qualtrics, as of the 31st, they're going to go to this new interface. And the good news is that they haven't taken anything away. They haven't made any real major changes to how you do anything. All of the same options and things are there. They're just in different places. They've moved everything around. So, just kind of having a little bit of a tour before that actually happens, I thought would be helpful. So as you can see my Qualtrics projects page. Okay. So as you can see, this hasn't really changed any. There's this little menu up here where you can get back to this page. You can get to the catalog, which is just if you're starting a new survey, gives you the different types that you can start from. And there's all kinds of things in here.
Paul, it looks like your other attendee is just joined too.
Yes. And so welcome to our new person. We just started like literally 1 minute ago. So you really haven't missed anything. And then there's actions, which is kind of a workflow thing. It kind of worked out. We'll look at this a little bit more later. If you've ever used email or contact list triggers, they now call them actions. Your contact lists and the library for all the other surveys that you might have, graphics, other files, special messages. This is all the same, all works exactly the same, no real changes here. The big changes really is in what they call the builder, which is where you actually build and edit your survey. Now, as you can see, this looks quite different from what it used to be. And as I mentioned, they haven't taken anything away. There's not a major change as to how anything works. It's all just in a different place. So these menu items up here, survey, actions, distributions, data analysis, and reports, those are all the same. And they're actually pretty much in the same place. You come over here to get back to the builder. Survey flow. We'll take a look at each of these in a few minutes. Look and feel and survey options. These three, the survey flow, the look and feel, and the survey options used to be up along the top here. Well, they just put them over here on the side. All the same tools and options and look and feel stuff, just in a different place. The tools, auto numbering questions. There was a tools menu that was, I think, along with these up at the top. They've just moved it here. But all the same tools are here. These are all the same. Generate test responses used to be under review. They've pulled it out, I guess, to make it a little more obvious, and a lot of people are using it. I highly recommend using it. Review is still here and all the same options: collaborate, versioning, importing, and exporting. And as you can see here, it says some items have been moved to survey options. Just, if you're used to using something that was under tools, well, now it's under survey options. And we'll take a look at that in a minute. Pretty much this part is the same. You can change the name of your survey right here. If you click on the block area, see it now, watch over here and over here at the corner. When I move out of there, that little menu thing disappears, which can be kind of confusing because there are useful things under there. Add block, move block, collapse, all of these used to be in there as well. As you can also see, now that we've clicked on the block as a whole, there are more options over here. Question randomization and loop and merge also used to be underneath this menu. Well, they've pulled them out and brought them over here. What is somewhat newer, but not brand new with the new interface, is the next previous button text. Is you can have, for the next and previous buttons at the end of each block that, the respondent would see, you can now have customized for each block. So all of your main blocks can say next, next, next. And then at the very last one, it can say submit your answers. And that just kind of makes things a little bit nicer and a little bit more obvious to the respondent. Now, we come back over here and click in the question text. You can still change the name of the question or what will be the variable name. The question text, this all works still the same. Still get pipe text and the rich content editor. You can do each of the individual answers, and it's all there, just as it always has been. We have another one of these menus over here, like we used to. And it's just, move, copy, replace, etc. All of these used to be over on the right. They moved it to the left now. But you still have your various choices. One thing that is new and is really nice is now you can do drill downs. These can be, so if the example they use is if you want people to select year, make, and model of a car. You can select the year, then the make, then the model. You'll see those. And, still all the same, they've added one, all the old ones are still here. They all still work the same way. Answer type, number of choices is still there. Edit multiple is here. If you have a big long list of, say, departments in the School of Arts and Sciences that you can copy and paste into here rather than individually typing them in here, makes your life a lot easier. One thing, again, that's a little bit different, it used to be that when you clicked on here, then you got another set of items for what kind of multiple choice and what types of answers you want. Well, now you have to click on use suggested choices. And now you get that little menu to change the words here on your choices. You can reverse the order, that was there. Formatting it, drop down list, etc., however you want to do it. Requiring an answer, validating an answer. Those are still here. They still work the same way. There's really nothing new to that. And then all of these, the question behavior, there used to be like a little gear icon over here. in the actual question. That's how you got to this menu. Well, now this menu is just over here instead. So you still have the display logic and skip logic. They work the same way they always have. Carry forward, randomization, recode, all of that works still the same. You just get to it from a different place. You can import from the library and add a new question just as you always have, same with add a new block. Are there any questions so far? Okay. We'll come over here. Survey flow works exactly the same. All the same elements, and they all work the same way that they used to. Again, just in a different place. Don't change. Look and feel. This looks and feels the same as it always had, pretty much. And you can switch from the desktop to the mobile versions. And then next and previous button text. When you do these, it changes it for the entire survey. And then you can go into the specific blocks where you want, say, different text for the next and previous buttons. Just as a reminder, these arrows are not accessible, and you are encouraged to use words rather than some kind of graphic. Styles, if you want to do some custom style sheets. These are the page transitions, whether you want it to just change like a regular page or do fancy stuff. The fancy stuff is not accessible. And my personal thing is it's just a distraction as far as I personally am concerned. It's your survey, you do what you want. Help, background, the whole bit. These are all the same. And then survey options. You'll see that this looks a bit different as well. But then again, there's general and there's the survey language, display name, which is what comes up in the tabs up here. The description, you can turn question numbers on and off. The expert review, it's when you hit the publish, it comes up with that thing that kind of evaluates your survey. What to do with, whether you want a back button, let the respondent come back to it, do some of your survey and come back to it later on. All of these are the same. They were all there before. Security, they just call it security now, but all of these were here before too. Whether you want password protection, and that password, it's the same password for every respondent. So it's not a particularly secure thing, but adds a little bit more. Referral website, multiple submissions, indexing, so that Google doesn't pull your survey up in results when somebody's looking, doing a search. Anonymized responses, they're all there. End of survey. Oh, we'll go back and I'll show you that they kind of moved that too. Sending thank you emails, revisiting. Here they call these manage email triggers and contact list triggers. Those also used to be in the, I believe, in the tools as well. these email and contact list triggers, as they work right now with this here, these are going away, I think, in next year. Now, any triggers that you might already have will continue to work. But as far as creating them, those will be done through actions rather than through these triggers. So for new surveys, I strongly suggest going to actions and doing the email and contact list additions and things there rather than using these email triggers. Salesforce, unless you have a Salesforce account, you won't be able to do any of these. So some people do, I think, over in School of Management and maybe, you know, like the alumni office. You can do scoring still. It works just the way it used to if you've done that. You want to go to quotas, again, work exactly the same way. Translations, this is a little bit different. You used to be able to go up, I think, to tools and click on translation, and it would translate the survey for you. Well, they're not doing that anymore. Now you need to pretty much do it yourself. So I'm just going to click on Bosnian. I do not know Bosnian. And now is where you can go in. You have the English version and you can translate it to Bosnian or any of the other languages that they have listed here. Or you can contact Qualtrics and pay them to translate it. I don't know anybody who has done this, so I don't know how much it costs or how good it is. Even if you do a paid translation, I strongly suggest getting a native speaker that you know to go through and make sure that the translation was done correctly. Yes, the end of survey message is now down here, and you can change it. So you have over here the default custom. You have to create a message to do that. Redirect to another URL or include the response summary. Same options that we had before when custom end of survey was under tools or look and feel, wherever it was before. And as I said, actions, this is where you'll do your new email and contact list triggers. One thing that you might have noticed is sometimes I'm going to just quickly create an action because oh, I didn't want to schedule an action. Could have done the same thing anyway. So survey response or Salesforce, Like I said, if you don't have a Salesforce account, you won't be able to do it. But survey response is when either a response is created or updated or both, as depending on what you want to do. And it brings you right through. You can do the conditions, or I just want to show you the various tasks. So email is on a survey response. Depending on the conditions, you can send an email to yourself or anybody else. So that's the equivalent of the email trigger. The XM directory is what they kind of are now calling the contact list. And so this would be your contact trigger. You can do things in JavaScript. You can create a notification. This says CX directory. That's more like on a university level type directory thing. You don't want to mess with that. I don't think you'll even be able to get into it. Or calculate what they call metrics, which is how many people are answering a certain way and what to do when that many people do it. Distributions. Of course, I haven't distributed this, but all of these, it still looks the same. They still work the same. Data analysis is where all your data comes in. Of course, there's no data, but these all still work the same. Import and export everything. And the same with the reports. All looks and works the same way. Are there any questions?